At least 17 people killed in violent flooding across California. A combination of torrential rain, violent flooding, and powerful wind in California has killed at least 17 people since Sunday. The storm has led to evacuation orders for tens of thousands of people and left more than 150,000 electric customers without power. The deaths, spanning San Bernardino County in the south to Mendocino County in the north, have been primarily caused by falling trees and driving on flooded roads, according to the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services. A 5-year-old boy in San Luis Obispo County remains missing after his mother's car became stranded in the flooded coast and he was swept away on Monday. Only finding one of his shoes, rescuers had to halt their search for the boy because of how dangerous weather conditions were, according to officials. Roads across central and northern California have turned into impassable rivers, leading to school closures and limited mobility exacerbated by fallen trees and mud and landslides along the state's steep hillsides. The National Weather Service placed large swaths of the region under flood watch and noted that almost all of the state has seen 400% to 600% more rainfall than usual over the past few weeks. Our message to Californians is simple: be hypervigilant, California Governor Gavin Newsom said at a press conference Monday. There are still several days of severe winter weather ahead, and we need all Californians to be alert and heed the advice of emergency officials. Like many of his colleagues, Mike Dahl, a senior meteorologist at AccuWeather, has been following the flooding and examining the greater pattern of adverse weather this season in California. Going back to the latter part of December is when this train of storms started, and each one's been varying in intensity, Dahl says. It's sort of a compounding factor, so each storm is bringing areas of heavy rain to many of the same areas that were hit by the previous storm, then the next one is going over similar areas, then the next storm, and on and on. Here's what to know. Millions under flood watch. As of Wednesday morning, the National Weather Service had a flood advisory in place for more than 4 million people across California and a small part of southern Oregon. In areas where wildfires have weakened or cleared out the hillsides, the land is primed for flash flooding and avalanches. We've seen tons of reports of mudslides, rocks, and boulders coming down on the roads, Dahl says. It can take weeks for authorities to fully clear and drain fallen debris and pools of water that block highways and streets. Californians should be prepared to evacuate and definitely heed those notices, Dahl says. If you're driving and you come across a flooded roadway, do not drive through it, because you don't know how deep the water is. You don't know even if there's a road under that water. Thunderstorms moving from north to south also carry heavy winds that knock out power and threaten tornadoes in southern counties. With every storm, we have the risk of high winds bringing down trees and power lines, Dahl says, explaining the massive infrastructure damage that storms have already begun to cause. Houses along hills and coasts are especially prone to damage and have limited evacuation capabilities.